it as much as you want. Second point that is important to clarify, there was some discussion here about standards for artificial intelligence. There are none. Can you hear me? Can you hear me well? There are no standards for artificial intelligence. We have no idea where we're going with it. And we have to just live with it for the moment. Someone mentioned that the genie is out of the bottle. It is out of the bottle. There is 150 countries right now working on artificial intelligence, and everybody's doing whatever they want. So there are no standards, and we really don't know where we're going with it. I'm just going to make you a parallel. A few years ago, I worked as an auditor. So in financials, we have standards. We know how to produce a financial statement. We know how to issue it. We know how to work with it within certain legal standards. For artificial intelligence, we have none of that. So it's very important to keep that in mind when we discuss the subject. Otherwise, we can be outside the subject. There is nothing there that we can say, except we're trying lots of different things in 150 countries, right? Okay, so that was great. Thank you very much to all the panel members. It was fantastic. I learned a lot. The next panel is called Powering Progress, the Nexus of Energy, Water, and Connectivity for a Sustainable Future. By the way, I would like the panel to define for me sustainable future, because everybody has different definitions. So when we speak about something, let's know what we're talking about. It's very, very important. It's going to be moderated by Jessica Chin Fu, who is, in her previous life, was an advisor to the Ministry of Energy of French Polynesia. And this topic is close to her heart, as I read here. I'll let Jessica to introduce her panel. Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks, Gustavo. Okay, and I'll just invite the panelists to join me on stage. Right. So, hello, everyone, and we're really excited to be here. I'm super excited, as Gustavo mentioned, to go over a topic that's very close to my heart, sustainability. You've asked a question, how do we define sustainable future, right? And I think, well, for myself, so I'm an islander from French Polynesia, and I've had various hats, from a startup to an investor currently, but also worked with organizations in the public sector in the renewable space, and supporting Lamia's endeavor in bringing the World Electronics Forum here in Morocco. I think sustainable future, I'll hit that first, for me is something where we see the alignment of our impact for our future generation to live in wealth, health, and connected with nature, respecting each other, having no trace of human infrastructure and like pollution, basically carbon zero, the term that we say now. But I'll let my colleagues on the floor here answer that question as well. So to the startup disruptive founder in Morocco, Anaja Fauzi, I'll let you introduce yourself.
It's fine for the sound. It's okay. So, thank you, Jessica, for this invitation, and Lamia. My name is Fauzi Anaja. I'm the founder and CEO of Nexus. Nexus is a new car company, new hydrogen car company. We believe in hydrogen for the next generation of car and for a real green car. And my point, Jessica, about sustainable mobility. The first point for me is very important is to have a real talk and no bullshit, sorry. And now, after 7 years on this industry, automotive industry, I know well what is sustainable. And in my point, my position, sustainable is a mass solution to provide easier and faster energy to consumer. And in my point is hydrogen. You know, we talk a lot of EV car, battery electric vehicle. It's part of this sustainable, but we can't invest all our funds and energy and talent on this technology. I have a lot of information and data on that. So now I think we have 5 or 10 years in front of us to find a solution. And in my position, I believe that if we success on hydrogen distribution, we can have a real sustainable mobility. Because sustainable is how we produce energy and how we distribute energy. It's not just a car. It's not just how we make a car. It's a complete ecosystem. It's not very easy. It's very hard because now I work on it since 2017. But now we, in Namix vision, we have a very deep and clear vision for sustainable mobility. So thank you. I will explain more, but it's my point.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I think from a startup point of view, and especially with such a fertile ground as Morocco and Africa in general, we have the opportunity to build something from the ground with, we'll say the best practices, right? The more respectful, sustainable infrastructure and regulation. And to that, I'd love Ali to introduce yourself as being a stakeholder, major stakeholder in the electronics and renewable energy sector here in Morocco.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Thank you, Lamia, for what you have been doing for the WEF, especially here in Morocco. Welcome. Welcome to all of you. It's a real pleasure to see people coming from many continents, not only countries. So please enjoy your stay here in Morocco. I'll shift in French since we can have the translation, so it's easier for me to make myself clear. Alors, je me présente, Ali Hati, je suis président de la FENELEC, qui est la Fédération nationale d'électricité, qui implique 3 métiers, donc l'électricité, l'électronique, le renouvelable. Et donc, ce sujet aujourd'hui de développement durable, d'une manière générale, est dans le cœur de ce que nous sommes en train de faire. Et donc, nos membres aujourd'hui, les 650 membres de notre fédération, sont complètement impliqués donc, sur le sujet du dessalement, de l'hydrogène, etc. Et moi, je saisis aussi cette occasion. Donc, avant même d'appeler pour un monde plus durable, mes prières et nos prières à nous tous vont pour dans la région du Moyen-Orient, plus spécialement à Gaza, pour qu'il y ait un peu plus de paix à Gaza, mais aussi au Moyen-Orient et un peu partout dans le monde. Et très clairement, et je voudrais pas m'accaparer la parole, clairement, nous, comment on voit les choses au Maroc, c'est que nous, pays en développement, pour ne pas dire sous-développement, mais pays en voie de développement, nous avons vécu donc une partie de l'histoire un peu à la marge de l'économie mondiale. Donc, parce que tout simplement, nous avons raté, on va dire, l'industrialisation qui a été faite en Europe et en Amérique pendant le XVIIIe siècle, XVIIe, XVIIIe siècle. Donc nous avons pris un retard. Ce retard s'est traduit par une colonisation de nos pays. Donc il ne s'agit pas que de l'Afrique, mais certains pays d'Asie, certains pays d'Amérique latine aussi.
Sûr.
Et donc clairement, ce qui se passe aujourd'hui à travers le monde montre clairement que le modèle aujourd'hui du capitalisme est en train d'atteindre une limite. Et donc, nous devons forcément faire les choses différemment. Donc, on a eu une discussion avec une partie des personnes présentes, notamment Gustavo, que je salue. Et on s'est clairement dit que ce qui se passe au niveau dans le monde, comme transition énergétique, comme transition digitale, est en train de se faire d'une manière extrêmement rapide. Et c'est peut-être ce changement aujourd'hui de tout ce qui est intelligence artificielle, c'est peut-être une opportunité pour nous, Africains. C'est clairement une opportunité pour nous, Africains, de, on va dire, to fill the gap, pour rattraper un peu ce retard que nous avons pris. Et ce retard doit être comblé pour l'intérêt de tous. Gustavo nous a informé que la moyenne d'âge dans le monde est de 34 ans, n'est-ce pas? Et un peu moins. Il a baissé depuis.
Ouais, ouais.
C'est la moyenne qu'il a baissé. Et donc, mais par contre, en Afrique, la moyenne d'âge est plutôt de 20 ans. Donc, l'avenir se fera certainement en Afrique et nous devons être acteurs. Et donc, c'est là où nous, notre fédération, dans le cadre aussi de la Confédération Générale des Entreprises, on fait partie, mon ami Karim, donc nous essayons d'être aussi force de proposition pour que le développement se fasse en co-développement avec nos amis américains, nos amis asiatiques, nos amis européens. Donc nous essayons d'être très pragmatiques par rapport à une lecture claire de ce qui se passe aujourd'hui, mais aussi être force de proposition, pourquoi pas un peu rêveur quant à le rôle que devraient avoir les entreprises marocaines, les compétences marocaines pour un meilleur avenir pour le Maroc, mais aussi pour toute la région et pourquoi pas pour le monde entier.
Merci, Ali. Et now I'm switching back to English. And to the water expert from corporate to investor side, Olivier Tridon.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you today. As you just said, I've had various roles within very large environmental services companies in France, but in other places in the US, in Canada, etc. And with a significant time of my personal and professional life devoted to innovation and leading, especially open innovation in this very broad environment and impact new market areas, I would say. What I can share as a token of experience is that I'm a conservative guy, meaning that I recognize the value of already existing corporations, of public entities as they do operate, of financial entities as they do move and go ahead and invest and help new ideas to become realities and businesses. And I think we should consider not necessarily disrupting those, but adding on top of what's existing new value. And I've failed numerous times at implementing new product or services in my previous roles. But when from time to time it happened to be a success, it always was the fact that a customer was expecting something from a supplier. And by answering this very need, all the internal difficulties, aligning, misconducts, etc., processes, heavy processes, tend to simplify themselves so that the customer could be happy at the end of the day. What I'm saying is that recognizing that there is value in the economics that's driving a lot of energy and initiatives in the world. It's a way to get more results, really. And when it comes to the sustainable future, my question would be, are we talking about mine? Are we talking about my companies? Are we talking about yours? Some other people in Morocco you don't know of? Some other countries, one? Each and everybody is considering the future as its own or as it's the part of what is understanding of what the future is. And my hope really today is to say that we should be non-sacrificial when it comes to environment, water, energy, and what connectivity brings, meaning that we need to expand our awareness as to what's important and what the expectations of the unknown are, so that we could incorporate them and drive our strategies by the knowing of as much as we can of what the expectations are really.
Great. No, that's a really good reflection to have, right? Like to whose future are we talking about? And to that, I'd love to kind of go a little bit more into the weeds of everybody's expertise, from an infrastructure, mobility, and connectivity, renewable energy, electricity, right, to the grid, and then to water. Could you all kind of think about how the trends, the current smart city infrastructures are going, and where you've applied it in your own experience? And I'll start with you, Ali.
Je démarre. Le sujet de l'eau est un sujet qui est complètement d'actualité. L'impact du changement climatique, nous, il y a plus rien à démontrer au Maroc. On le sent déjà, on le vit. Les précipitations au Maroc ont été divisées par 4 sur les 30 ou 40 dernières années, divisées par 4. Donc, il y a un stress hydrique tel que aujourd'hui, le Maroc est en train de repenser toute sa stratégie en termes d'alimentation en eau. Et donc, nous sommes en train, là où on se parle, nous sommes en train de construire plusieurs stations de plusieurs millions de mètres cubes par jour. Il y a au minimum 2 stations, donc une station à Casablanca, une autre station à Nador, dans le nord-est du Maroc, 1 million de mètres cubes par jour. Donc, une bonne partie de cette production d'eau servira pour l'alimentation d'eau potable, mais il y a aussi d'autres stations qui sont prévues en construction pour la partie agriculture. Ce qu'il faut comprendre, c'est que 80% d'eau qui est produite au Maroc, elle est destinée à tout ce qui est agriculture. Et donc, aujourd'hui, il y a un grand débat qui se pose au Maroc. C'est est-ce que nous allons utiliser cette eau pour continuer à envoyer des avocats en Europe, des avocats, donc les fruits, pas les avocats lawyers, les fruits en Amérique latine, parce que ça coûte énormément au pays. Et donc, la notion de durabilité, elle est là. Mais il y a aussi un fait, c'est qu'aujourd'hui, nous avons une économie qui est aussi basée en partie sur l'agriculture. Donc, on ne peut pas venir du jour au lendemain et dire, écoutez, nous avons compris que c'est pas quelque chose de durable, donc on va tout de suite tout arrêter sans avoir aucune alternative. Et donc, nous pensons clairement qu'il y a l'alternative à construire. Le débat est aujourd'hui complètement posé de comment aujourd'hui, quels sont nos besoins en termes d'eau. Et la question qui est très importante aussi, c'est qui va réaliser ces projets. Parce que quand on parle de durable, c'est pas juste construire, c'est s'assurer que nous allons construire, que nous allons opérer ces installations par des Marocains et que ça va être opéré au juste coût et que nous allons faire durer ces installations le plus longtemps possible. Une installation est faite pour fonctionner au minimum 30 ans. Et donc, cette notion de durabilité, elle est directement liée à ce qu'on appelle l'OM, l'Operation and Maintenance. D'où l'importance aujourd'hui Donc, nous, au niveau de la FENELEC, donc, on pousse pour que cette notion de ONM, Operation and Maintenance, se fasse aujourd'hui par les Marocains pour s'assurer que cette installation va durer le plus, ces installations vont durer dans le plus possible dans le temps. Alors, il y a un autre élément qui est aussi important, c'est que, et là, c'est plutôt positif, l'eau est utilisée comme moyen de stockage de l'énergie. C'est-à-dire que on va utiliser des installations solaires qui produisent en gros 6 heures par jour en moyenne pour produire un maximum pendant la journée et distribuer pendant toute la journée, tout le reste de la journée. Et donc ça, c'est aussi un moyen donc on va dire d'utiliser plus de green energy. Le Maroc a une vraie politique de green energy et je fais la transition avec mon ami Fawzi. L'hydrogène, pour certains, c'était vraiment quelque chose qui était juste, on va dire, c'était juste une belle histoire à raconter, mais pas forcément un business à aller chercher. Ça a complètement changé avec l'offre Maroc que vient notre gouvernement de lancer. Notre gouvernement a lancé un projet de 1 million d'hectares, je dis bien 1 million d'hectares, pour équiper des fermes solaires qui vont alimenter des installations hydrogène. On est en train de parler d'un investissement de 150 milliards de dollars.
150 million
Billion.
billions of dollars.
Yes.
Now that's how disruption, when the government puts the capital and you have disruptors coming out, right? Like NameX. I mean, you could bounce to it, but I think it's really important to see that how we can shift the narrative.
I just add
Go for it.
one point, please. Ce qu'il y a de particulier pour le Maroc, c'est sa proximité géographique avec l'Europe. Nous sommes à peine une dizaine de kilomètres de l'Europe. Et nous avons du foncier comme il n'y en a pas en Europe. C'est-à-dire, il n'y a pas, si vous partez en Europe, vous n'avez pas trouvé 1 million d'hectares disponibles. Et quand bien même vous trouvez 1 million d'hectares disponibles et n'est pas ensoleillé, il n'y a pas assez de vent. Et quand bien même vous trouvez 1 million d'hectares disponibles et il y a du vent, il y a du soleil, vous n'allez pas trouver forcément de la mer pour aller dessaler de l'eau pour produire de l'hydrogène. Et donc, ça positionne clairement le Maroc comme étant une destination privilégiée pour les investissements étrangers.
Right. No, thank you for sharing that. I think the natural resources of Morocco clearly puts it as in a leadership role for capital to come on the continent and start disrupting. I think that's where NameX comes really good in play, and infrastructures. And I let Olivier also has a desal project, but
Okay, thank you. It's very simple in our mind. Our objective is to produce low carbon hydrogen, not only green, it's low carbon hydrogen, and to export it in Europe, because in Europe, in a couple of years, we will have a lot of recommendation about automotive industry. So it's not only an EV car, it will be a very huge difference from now. And in Morocco, we have the perfect environment to produce hydrogen, to produce a car, of course, and to export it for Europe or US market. And now we just explain how we...
just one question, because you're going into the US and the European market, but what do you think about the building the infrastructure here in Morocco to the African continent? Is that part of NameX strategy also to look at, or is that phase one go to established markets, or in parallel with phase two having
Phase one, for me, is the most important things for a Moroccan entrepreneur or an African entrepreneur to produce here in Africa.
Thank you.
A very high value projects, premium projects, very high technology projects, and to export it in Europe and US market. I talk only about the car, of course, not hydrogen.
Oh,
but
got
when we talk about the car, of course, it's nice to have the car in Morocco or in Africa, but the biggest market is in Europe and US. And the
Why?
value,
Why is it not here? Why is the market not here when
Because-
everything has to be built?
You know, when 95% of PIB is outside from Africa, we need to be realistic. We can produce here and can sell products for worldwide. It's my point.
Right. No, it's very good. I'm just trying to understand. And since we have someone from the, that mentioned $150 billion put in the hydrogen, I'm just curious why it's not, right? Why a startup founder with a disruptive car is going to Europe and the US when,
La question est très pertinente, Jessica. Je vais vous donner quand même il y a une réalité à voir en face. On peut être rêveur, on peut être ambitieux, pardon, mais au final, on doit être aussi compétitif. Et pour être compétitif, il faut aller chercher des marchés qui sont importants. Il se trouve que nous avons mené une étude avec le ministère d'Industrie et de Commerce du Maroc pour voir, donc nous, Fenelec, où est le potentiel d'exportation pour les entreprises. Et les chiffres étaient éloquents. Je vous donne quelques chiffres. Est-ce que vous savez que 25% des câbles électriques qui sont produits à travers le monde sont consommés aux États-Unis? Ça, c'est une réalité. Je vous mets en face combien consomme le marché africain. Tout le marché africain, tous les 54 pays réunis de l'Afrique consomment 2%. Donc, un entrepreneur, quand il voudra se lancer, il y a une réalité en face qui dit que on attaquera les marchés qui sont le plus potentiels. Mais, je reviens à ce qu'on disait avec notre ami Gustavo, l'avenir est forcément africain. La jeunesse est forcément africaine. Et donc, on doit, aujourd'hui, le modèle capitaliste a atteint ses limites. Nous devons, les dirigeants de ce monde devront vraiment repenser notre manière de faire le business de manière à créer un potentiel de richesse là où nous sommes aujourd'hui. Parce que malheureusement, qu'on le veuille ou pas, le gap est en train d'être encore plus important. Moi, j'étais avec un très grand constructeur asiatique d'onduleurs solaires. Ils sont un seul constructeur d'onduleurs solaires est en train d'investir dans les 5 prochaines années plus que 100 milliards de dollars dans la R&D, dans la recherche et développement. Compliqué aujourd'hui, une entreprise africaine avec un petit marché, sans moyen de financer la recherche et développement, de dire on va tout de suite naître et faire la concurrence à des géants chinois, des géants américains. Pourquoi? Parce que le modèle aujourd'hui, tel qu'on le pense, et c'est la discussion qu'on a eue avec Gustave l'autre jour, il n'est pas bon. Donc nous devons aujourd'hui repenser. Et le World Electronic Forum, c'est exactement un des endroits où nous devons avoir une sorte de think tank pour ne serait-ce que sortir avec une ou deux recommandations qui serviront à nos dirigeants pour dire le modèle capitaliste, il est très bien, parfait, mais il a des limites. Nous, les limites, on les subit. Donc, à nous, ensemble, de trouver. La solution n'est pas simple, mais c'est pas parce qu'elle n'est pas simple qu'on va jamais la chercher.
Merci beaucoup. I mean, thank you very much. I think that's very clear. And to that, there's corporate sides. I mean, what about joint ventures? I mean, you're mentioning, right, the joint venture, that African company that's doing R&D for an African for $250 million, right? So there's opportunities here for African entrepreneurs, investors, established family offices to invest in the country and go, right? I think that's also something. I think, Olivier, you were mentioning you're working in desalination or something.
Yes. Thanks for the opportunity to share that, really, as I am very keen on water stakes, of course, and maybe we can take like 1 second to remind everybody about what we are talking about here. There is a lot of materiality behind the water crisis. Everyone does kind of know that 70% of our mass is made of water, that we cannot live more than 3 days without it. That there's the woman labor in a lot of countries are very much tied to the access of water. I'm not saying that it's not bounding their freedom, but it's certainly part of how they experience their life today. I want to reflect on the fact that there is spirituality stakes, and the water is very much tied to all the major spirituality movements that there is. That the crisis of water is moving each and everybody of us all and all the businesses. And if you want to find a solution that's satisfactory, that's going to talk to everybody, that if you want to have a big yes as the answer of a public entity driving a strategy for water, it has somehow to recognize that there's a lot of expectations, not only about the quantity of water, but the way we deal with it globally as a society. And new technology that is born in recent years, are incorporating the constraint of the environment, the constraint of energy costs and prices in the very design of those new water desalination technology. It's not a revisiting of old energy intensive desal approaches. It's about designing, implementing, and innovating in this very field so that new ways to producing new potable water, to bring new potable water to a territory, could be more sound in the way they're actually delivering value. And yes, I am very close to some of those desal companies, and we are having with the technology, the connectivity, the ability to build, along with very big, strong, reliable, and industrial entities, small ones dedicated to one sole purpose that could be very much food, that could be very much about having a green component grown that's going to be part of your fertilizer industrial scheme tomorrow. Those very small entities with, in some cases, no environmental impact at all. They don't reject anything to the environment. They are smart in the way they utilize excess energy or available energy. So there's a way to implement smart projects that are very demonstrative, that are having a business case that is sound and a vision. And I really think that it's a very exciting times for emerging countries and others to be aware of everything that's going on in the R&D and the innovation field for water, for them to lead the way by the implementing of actual experimentations. That's going to demonstrate a new approach to water, wastewater, energy, that it is not only relying on ancient centralized distribution system and architecture, but really leveraging what we can do with connectivity and digital today for a very significantly higher amount of people to being in position to access water, to access energy, to access connectivity, and maybe grow a food strategy and a food solution that's going to be completely innovative. So yeah, I'm very excited about what's going on in the water tech today. And this is the point I wanted to make today. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Olivier. And I think going back to that, you were mentioning, how production, making the production clean from the start. Would love to hear your vision. I know we were talking about, right, how you were growing the plant. The plan is to build Namex cars here. Would love to hear how that vision is also following sustainable processes here. Mm-hmm.
Of course. Namex is not only a car project. We talk about Namex Group. We have the car brand, of course, but we have CapEx. CapEx is for the capsule, hydrogen of capsule. And thanks to this innovation and solution, we believe and we think that we can provide easier and faster hydrogen to consumer. Just an example about that. I think you already see on internet or network is a capsule of hydrogen. Is a patented technology. It's a dual tank technology, and it's the only solution is to reduce the hydrogen cost distribution. One hydrogen station goes between 1 million until 10 million euro. Is the reason that we have a few hydrogen stations in Europe, 0 in Morocco at this stage, and just 70 in California. And so it's in comparison, in France, we have 11,000 classic gas stations and just 30 hydrogen stations. And thanks to our solution, we can, for the price of the capex of one hydrogen station, we can have 50 hydrogen distributor of the capsule. So it is our main technology. And to make it, we need water, because we need water to produce hydrogen thanks to electrolysis. We need IoT technology, because we create a very deep network of hydrogen capsule distribution. And of course, we need logistic and engineering to make, in logistic, we talk about milk run. It's a logistic system to distribute very simple and user hydrogen. And we work on it since 2018. And now you will see in 3 years, inshallah, the first real tests in a real situation, in the real cities about hydrogen capsule. It's a very game changer solution. It's the first time in the automotive industry you will see a capsule in a car. We know since 1 century we have 2 solutions: a classic gas station or a BEV car. Now it will be with a capsule. Believe me, we believe this technology is. We have not a lot of solution at this stage to make a lot of hydrogen and to distribute it easily. And now we have the key technology to make it. Of course, we need a lot of times, engineers, money found, of course. But when we want to change industry, we need to take a risk. And at Nemix, it's our main DNA. So thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah, you're a founder of startup. That's it's a risky business, but you're doing it. Congratulations. I mean, 3 years. That's a yeah. I'm looking forward to see those capsule production. I think it's really smart to look at. To look at the chain, not just the car, right? So production, and then from there, you can disrupt and actually have hydrogen on the market to be another type of energy source in households and other equipment, other IoTs. I mean, it's a disrupting, yeah, really exciting. I think we're almost out of time, so I'm gonna do a quick fireside chat. I just want to wrap my head around what Ali mentioned, right? Staying realist, but there's a lot of opportunities. We have to remember we have capital here, we have resources here to make things happen and have sustainable infrastructure in play. Olivier mentioned the part of joint ventures and having R&D in place that can be applied to water, agriculture, and many other aspects, and Namex obviously disrupting the space in mobility and energy. Love for you to take about 4 minutes, 3 minutes to share what you'd like our audience here to take back, along with those that are seeing us on live.
Okay. So there is a nexus at play here. It means there is complexity and interdependencies between what you do on water, the effect it's having on the energy side, and what connectivity eats up as a water and gives back as a value. So complexity is not something that's going to help action and simple, very clear strategies. But I think we need to contemplate what are the main drivers that can help innovation in those very fields, energy, connectivity, water, to scale quicker, to being more robust, and for the price and the access price of these new techs to be lower. And what I recognize in terms of new scaling and new drivers, there is 2 really. One is future of compute. each and every green tech company that can be a partner or a companion to these new companies that's going to reinvent the way we process data, are going to beneficiate from an avenue of scale, visibility, and growth that is unprecedented and a lot stronger, a lot larger than what current green market is offering. Same thing goes with the military side of things, unfortunately. And my last point could be for public entities driving public strategies, the more you're able to incorporate like informal heritage that's existing within countries when it comes to expectations for water, know-hows, beliefs, emotions, testimonies. If we are in a capability to actually collect those, and AI and smartphones could help to capture like video testimonies and reprocess those for those being translated in various languages, etc. So we are in the moment of being able to build a collection of this informal heritage for water and share it for everybody, not to reinvent everything, but being able to be more aware of what's already on the market and being able to recognize and use a broader spectrum of expectancies for water and not only the quantity of water that the crisis is offering us.
Alors, moi, je voudrais quand même saisir le micro pour vous féliciter encore une fois, vous, toute l'équipe, Lamia, pour le travail et le défi que vous avez pris à venir organiser ce que vous êtes en train de faire au Maroc. Bravo. Et merci. Et je saisis ce que vous avez dit. Nous sommes en présence aujourd'hui certainement de beaucoup de capital, de fonds d'investissement, pour dire que les chiffres que je viens d'annoncer, ce sont des chiffres qui ont été annoncés par le gouvernement marocain et en face de Sa Majesté. Donc vous avez aujourd'hui Sa Majesté le Roi, vous avez la garantie que ces projets aujourd'hui bénéficient le patronage de Sa Majesté. Ça, c'est très important comme garantie à long terme. Parce qu'un investisseur ne va jamais mettre des milliards de dollars dans un pays à haut risque. Et nous pensons clairement qu'aujourd'hui, la garantie royale fait baisser le risque énormément par rapport aux investisseurs. Ça, c'est la première des choses. La deuxième des choses, clairement, nous pensons que l'avenir de l'énergie est de plus en plus vers l'hydrogène vert. Fosé, il pense que l'hydrogène tout court, nous pensons qu'il y a une très forte demande aujourd'hui qui se fait en Europe. Et la tendance est que le consommateur européen aujourd'hui demande à utiliser tout ce qui est durable et donc automatiquement vert. Et donc, il y a une très forte demande aujourd'hui et je pense que les prévisions sont encore très fortes et créent un gap énorme entre l'offre et la demande. Clairement, il y a énormément de demande, pas assez d'offres. Et l'Europe aujourd'hui a clairement besoin d'une offre en hydrogène vert, clairement. Serait-ce que pour balancer l'ultra-dépendance énergétique de la Russie. Et donc, vous avez aujourd'hui la garantie d'un pays qui vous offre un foncier, qui vous offre aussi la capacité à construire des installations à un prix extrêmement compétitif et en fast track. Nous avons clairement montré qu'au Maroc, les investissements, les fonds, les investissements étrangers sont explicites par rapport à ce point. Je vais être rapide. Ils sont explicites par rapport à ce point. Les investissements, quand ils sont faits au Maroc, ne serait-ce qu'une usine automobile, les délais au Maroc sont largement inférieurs de réalisation par rapport à d'autres pays, même européens ou américains. Donc, vous avez la garantie d'investissement. Vous avez aussi le fast track pour l'installation de vos projets. Le besoin est là. Donc, moi, je pense que ça devrait clairement profiter à l'économie marocaine et africaine d'une manière générale. Donc, mon appel est très simple aujourd'hui. L'offre, elle est là, mais il y a énormément de demandes. Faites vite pour ceux qui sont intéressés. Merci.
Thank you again, Jessica. Thank you again, Lamia, for this very nice event. My conclusion is very simple. I think for hydrogen or sustainable strategy is now or never. We should be very pragmatic in our choice or decision. In private sector, we try to work faster than fast. But now in Morocco, we have the opportunity with this big plan. I think we need talents, engineers, investors, and we need to take a risk. It's my point. Without risk, we have anything. That's my point. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, guys. Big man, it's a wrap. Morocco is a place to be to bring a sustainable future with the sector of water, energy, and inshallah, the growth of green hydrogen.
Well,